Vikings. I absolutely love Vikings. From TV series that adapt them like The Last Kingdom and Vikings, books that are inspired by them like Shadow of the Gods or Kings of the Wild, or video games that lend from their mythology like God of War or Hellblade. So imagine my excitement when I found out that not only is there a historical manga based on Vikings, but is also one of the most critically acclaimed manga of all time. That manga is called Vinland Saga, and it is one of the best things I have ever read. Vinland Saga starts very much how you would expect a Viking story to begin. Thorfinn, our main character, is forced to join a mercenary band and forced to fight during the sacking of England. He joined this band for one reason alone. He'd sworn revenge on the man that murdered his father, which just so happens to be the group's leader, Askeladd. Through flashbacks, we see how these events unfurl, with Thorfinn's father, once being a renowned Viking warrior who gave up fighting to lead a peaceful life. This choice led to his demise, as there were gears at work to have him executed for his betrayal, and out of fear of his capability as a fighter and leader. Vinland Saga lends itself to these more conspiratous and political plotlines alongside the main story. We watch Thorfinn grow up, and through the opening of the story, we see him develop into a ferocious, malicious, and hateful young man, fueled only by his anger and need for revenge. He is constantly manipulated and used by Askeladd and utilised in his grander plans. We watch Askeladd's plans come to fruition, installing Prince Canute onto the throne of Denmark. Whilst not his original intention, Askeladd gave his own life by assassinating the former king in a bid to protect Denmark and his homeland Wales. Suddenly, a story about Thorfinn's revenge is stopped in its path. Askeladd has died by his own hand, and Thorfinn's purpose dissipates. Before this point, Vinland Saga was fueled by violence, action, and political plotting, which is everything that you would expect from a Viking story. We are introduced to many characters, and while there are threads of plot lines that later come to fruition, the main focus on the story is war, violence, and revenge. What makes Vinland Saga so special is the fact that it took all of this, all of the reader's expectations and views of the genre and the narrative, and it flipped them in one of the biggest tonal shifts I've ever seen in a series. And oh my god, did it work absolutely amazingly. After Askeladd's death, Thorfinn is stripped, both emotionally and physically. He's sold into slavery, which is where the vast majority of the following arc resides. Throughout this arc, we are offered something that I wasn't expecting from Vinland Saga, and I haven't seen before in an action manga series. Vinland Saga's second part, where its real story begins, is a deeper philosophical character study on Thorfinn and the way he interacts with the world around him. He is reflective of the chaos that his life up to this point had revolved around, remorseful of the lives he has taken, and most of all, lacking in purpose. Throughout the Farmland arc, Thorfinn learns what it means to be his own person, very much due to his friendship with a new character, Einar. Together, they work towards their freedom by, over many years, toiling the earth. Thorfinn becomes driven by something other than violence, and learns from his new friend's experiences just how condemning his previous life was. Throughout the arc, we're shown the world from a different perspective, and Thorfinn adopts this new perspective and resolves within himself to make amends for all the evil that he brought into this world. At the culmination of the arc, Thorfinn is forced to see violence in its truest form and witnesses his best friend lose the woman he loves. Thorfinn in this moment swears to travel to the land across the sea and create a country of peace without slavery and war. This is the moment that Vinland Saga was building towards. A grand goal completely juxtaposing the genre and normal narrative structure of Viking stories. This is the moment that Thorfinn truly understands his father's wishes, understanding that to be a true warrior is not to commit to a life of violence, but to fight solely for what is right, to fight for peace and love without taking others' lives. The message of Vinland Saga in this moment became so simple. It became a story about empathy, compassion, and love. The idea of Vinland transcended the world that these characters reside in and embarked to create something better. From here, Vinland Saga continues with the grand goal of finding and creating Vinland. The group adopts some new members, each serving a specific slice to Thorfinn's journey of repent. We are introduced to Gudrid, a young girl with her heart set on adventure and exploration. Gudrid brings this sense of normality to the group, and also acts as Thorfinn's romantic interest as we progress deeper into the manga. She brings joy back into his life and teaches him that he's able to love. We're also introduced to Hild, whose story acts as Thorfinn's truest punishment. During his days with Askeladd, Thorfinn murdered Hild's father, and as a result, she hopes to get revenge. Instead, Thorfinn promises her that he has changed, and that he has to repent for the sins that he's committed, the lives that he's taken, and killing him will stop him from doing that. Her presence becomes an ever-watchful eye of his behaviours and a stopping guard for him slipping back into his old ways. Hild acts as a physical and mental reminder of exactly why Thorfinn has chosen this path, and will also be the physical force that stops him from straying from it. The following arcs divert Thorfinn from his goal at every opportunity, and constantly push him to return to a life of violence once more. He is thrust headfirst into another war, another push for power, and is surrounded by the characters that once drove him to those dark places. But his resolve sticks. Thorfinn, in all of his cowardice for swearing off violence, is one of the strongest characters in this world. He's one of the strongest characters in all of fiction. He had seen enough, he had experienced enough, and he said no more. Vinland Saga is so special because it sets out to do something that hasn't been done before. In a genre and format that is so enshrouded in violence, and in a setting that is renowned for being a blood-filled part of history, Vinland Saga breaks this mold. Vinland Saga doesn't just show us its lessons, it teaches us. And this is something that Makoto Yukimura is so good at. We see what Thorfinn's journey means, what he stands for, and what he will fall for. Vinland Saga is truly one of the best stories ever told in fiction. Hi, I hope you enjoyed this video about Vinland Saga. It's a series that I've been reading for a little while and absolutely fell in love with. And the best part is, it's not even finished yet. Vinland Saga is definitely a series I want to make more videos about, which is why this one didn't delve too much into the story. It was more talking about why Vinland Saga is so special. What do you guys think of Vinland Saga? Let me know in the comments down below, and let's have a discussion about this absolutely amazing series. If you want to pick up some manga for yourself, you can check out the links in the description, and while you're down there, you can like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be alerted every single time that I upload. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you're not bored of seeing my face yet, you can check out one of the videos on either side of me. Otherwise, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.